Hi, everyone, and welcome. Sorry for the bit of delay. We had to get a timer stood up. So we put Steve in charge to get the background set up. But hey, everyone, I want to welcome you all to the future of generative AI. What we're titling is the webinar, and the conversation is really about transforming the AI ecosystem. My name is Jay Allardyce. I'm one of the co-founders of the Generative AI group here on LinkedIn, and I get the esteemed opportunity to be the moderator here. I think Steve has had so much time, as many of you know Steve, to be the moderator. So I'm going to flip the script and give him a bit more time to speak here. So I'm joined by two of my great colleagues, Rodham Alouf, who is the CEO of Wand and founder and an AI leader in the domain, and Steve Norrie. For many of you know Steve, is one of the most influential members on LinkedIn and beyond in the category of AI. So we've got a great opportunity to have a conversation here, and we are so grateful and thankful that everyone here is a part of the community. And this is really what it's about. And we're going to talk deeply a bit about the history of where things have started a year ago to what we've been doing this last year relative to the opportunity in the ecosystem, the industry, where things are headed, both from a technology and application point of view, and really what's ahead. We're super excited to share a bit about the company itself, this notion of Gen AI works, and really what does it encompass going forward that we hope many of you will take advantage of. And so to kind of kick it off a little bit here, I don't think we need to go so much into the introductions, but really kind of to dive in because we do want to be able to answer some Q&A as we go. But I thought perhaps to kind of start it off in a bit of a dialogue is just to get a perspective. And Steve, look, you have been in this arena on the social media side, the industry side. You've seen AI as starting as a developer and evolving it into a number of arenas at various companies. So I thought maybe just a little bit about how did this all come about? What are
Thanks, Jay.
some of your
Thanks, Jay,
thoughts?
for the intro. I mean, it's good to be in the other side of the chat. It's
Right.
and thanks everyone for joining us today. This generative AI page, I guess, was the conversation we had when just ChatGPT came out. There was a lot of different platforms and pages and people talking about the future and how this AI is going to help. But we kind of lacked an authority and I guess an aggregated place to get access to all the news trends that trusted. They are informational and understandable for not only professionals but also the public. So the idea was like to be that sort of trusted source and bring together community to even discuss how these new AI trend is going to help everyone. So yeah, around I guess around 2 years ago, um, uh, we started the journey by keeping everybody involved in this sort of journey with us, sharing, talking, discussing, curating, and creating some top news for our followers. And that was the beginning. I guess you probably know that like we are thinking now to expand. I mean, you definitely know we are planning to expand and talk about many other interesting stuff. But I will let you yourself and Rodham also share a little bit about what is coming up.
Sounds good. Rodham, I'll turn it to you. I mean, like, as a little bit about where we've been and where things are headed, but just kind of your perspective on the opportunity.
Sure. Thanks, Jay. And great to be here, Steve and Jay. So, in general, as we are looking at it, AI is such a huge revolution that is happening currently that is going to change everything from technical people to everyone, our parents, our grandparents, non technical people, everyone that we can think about. is going to be influenced significantly from this revolution that we are seeing now, which just started and is going to intensify over the next years. And we believe in general that the people that who won't incorporate the new technology into their toolkits won't become relevant in the future. The idea of the generative AI is to help everyone to be able to be prepared to this future, to help them learn, to help them grow, to help them get the new skills needed. And this is what it's about. We've started it with making everyone knowledgeable, and now we are continuing actually to be a top voice to lead this revolution and enabling everyone actually to be prepared for this future.
That's great. I'll just add a point, just as a, in our conversation as a team, is, this is definitely a technology plateau where things have changed, and in so many ways, it's almost, what do we need to unlearn in order to learn going forward? And what I mean by that is, the usage of AI as a core discipline. If that was the only technology we had when it came to writing code, to generating content, to asking knowledge base insights, and thinking about what sort of context or what sort of outcome, what problem are we trying to solve in using that. And this is really an opportunity where it's made available to anyone in an industry to understand and apply to the work that they're doing, not just a technologist. And so I think the premise and view we saw in the beginning, which we'll get to the next question, was how do we create a community around this? Because the essence of a community is truly about supporting one another through many different perils, ups, downs, and changes, whether it's a job change, building an application, finding someone to go work on an idea that might be collaborating with you in a particular space. So how do we unite that, make that available? And that's really kind of something that brought us all together, this past year plus to move this forward. So with that, maybe Steve, a question for you to kind of tee it up. We talk about Gen AI Works. What's kind of the mission and the focus? We could talk about this notion of discover, learn, and grow. Maybe you can expand on that a little bit further.
Yeah, that's you summarize it very well, and that's exactly the motto: discover, learn, and grow. I mean, we always are thinking about how can we bring community together to positively help each other and collaborate, and that's the goal of this whole platform. Discover, learn, and grow is sort of the summary of three major, I guess, functionality and the goal that we can find that are the top highest priority for everyone. Because of the amount of information that coming from everywhere, it's just explosion. We are drinking from the fire hose as we are the sort of trying to stay on top of the news. And we know that can be overwhelming for a lot of people. Not everyone might have enough understanding of AI to be able to pick the right tool in the right time for the task they have in hand. So Discover is the major one that we would like to help the community with. We already have the functionalities on our website. We are trying to enhance it with people's feedback, but then also we would not stop there. By finding the tools, you just open the doors to another world. You need to understand how to use them properly for your needs. So then we are going to help people to learn and collaborate with each other to, I guess, this learning from each other, sharing, and also getting access to top quality courses. So this is something that I'm just putting it here. It's coming very soon. We are going to share new courses, top masterclass from leaders, industry leaders, top voices in AI industry from all over the world. And then finally, grow is about how you apply it and how you get the value. So we would like to keep in touch and walk with each other to make sure that it is applied in your work, your daily life. And if you're an entrepreneur, you are going to start something new, we are also going to be there for you. We are going to help you to grow your business, your industry. And this is beyond, I guess, just connecting with the ecosystem. There would be a lot hand holding. So I'm just teasing out a lot of the projects that we are going to have. But yeah, you would love to hear yourself and Jay to, add more to details.
Yeah, you bet. So, Rodham, maybe some of your thoughts when we talk about individuals and companies and the distribution of the exposure we can help to create.
Yeah, so like as we're looking at it, like the opportunity today, we are seeing a lot of large companies pushing things in AI, influencing, etc. We want to focus on the individuals, on the small companies, uh, the people that has new ideas, how they are able to get exposures, how they are able to influence, how they are able to get to the next step. And we want to be the place and the ecosystem to help them to get to this next step. From, as Steve mentioned, from marketing, from how to get exposure, how we are able to handhold them in this journey in order to get to the next phase with connections, with a lot of different aspects. And this is actually, as we've said, the core of this ecosystem, how we are enabling everyone to fit in this new world of this new AI-driven world. And that's the goal. And Steve already mentioned a lot of the, or teased a lot of the new things that we are going to add. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a lot of added value for from individual to small companies to investors even in the things that are going to be built up in the Gen AI works and generative AI ecosystem.
No, I couldn't agree more. I'll just add one point from a perspective here. As we talked about the notion of helping startups or those that have an idea that have built out capability to even get the visibility and potential distribution. We know the investment community has a setup in the way things operate today, but we kind of pride this view of being able to help with that distribution where the idea is really the thing that we celebrate or we can help to bring to market. But one thing that's really cool that we're seeing a lot of, which will go to the next question here, and I'll start with you, Rowan. But one more thing that is really interesting is this notion of a creator economy, right? That's not new. We've seen it in multiple markets, multiple industries. But when it comes to AI, for individuals that are adopting capability, let's say in building videos or content, say for marketing, it is a new skill, it's a new trade, it's a new way of approaching, and they have that authenticity. They have the ability to put their stamp on it. Now, there's obviously questions with respect to privacy and copyright and or usage of content, but let's put that aside for a moment because that's not what I'm trying to convey here. Is the reality is that these tools are allowing people to, in many ways, upskill themselves, but also the opportunity to connect them to different companies and brands because someone sees an idea and they say, wow, how did that work? We published something about Volvo and how they used various AI capabilities for video generation. That is an art when it comes to an individual who's put that time together, that prompt to understand the sequencing and usage. How can we help that individual get connected to brands? Because that is talent, that is opportunity. So we're seeing a very different type of Upwork movement, if you will, and the ability to bring that skill to individuals and companies that are looking for talent. So with that, let me just flip it into a bit of the market. And so, I think everyone can read every bit of the news and how much $1 trillion of economic value the generative AI supposes to bring relative to productivity gains, business efficiency, growth, and opportunity. Rhoda, maybe talk a little bit about it of how it's evolving, just the industry and how folks should think about it, given just how fast the technology as changing from an infrastructure and a tooling and model perspective. Maybe just some of your thoughts there.
Sure. So I think like what we saw in the last like 2 3 years is a lot of impact of generative AI in very certain places. Uh, Also in the individual levels, as you said, like video editing, content editing, and things like that. Still, the technology is in its early days, and still part of the massive value of the technology that should go to enterprises eventually uh, is even a bit not as advanced as what happened in the more individual places. We still have most of the works ahead of us, and if we are looking at a future of what generative AI can create, is create a future when every individual has the ability actually to become kind of a CEO in a company, have infinite amount of capacity, do the work of at the beginning 2 people, and then 10 people, and then 1,000 people, and then tens of thousands of people by himself, because he's not by himself anymore. He has a team of a huge team of, if we call it AI agents, that are working together with him to execute tasks. And what we are going to see, I believe, is a process that people become actually the strategizers, like behind like some ideas or executions ideas, but they are not actually running the execution by themselves. They will work together with the agents in order to get actually those tasks done. And from a future perspective, for there are huge opportunity for smaller companies and newcomers to come and actually have a real challenge on the current tech giants, the current other companies in finance, insurance, manufacturing, every different field, with new technology, completely different type of operation, and with 10 people, maybe 100 people. And this is actually the core focus and value of the technology. Uh, we are getting there, I will say. It's improving all the time. Uh, I will say at one, we are seeing actually the productivity gains that are improving months over months. It's one, by the technology that is getting better. A second, it's by the adaptation of people to use this technology. And we are seeing it moving from tens of percents to hundreds of percents, and we'll get to the hundreds of thousands of percents productivity gains eventually, when both the technology will get more advanced and companies will be able to adopt it at larger scale, and people will know how to use it in the best way. So this is, I believe, a bigger disruption from the industrial revolution, even that we saw a similar things from 100 people that doing something to one person with a machine that can do the same work. Here, actually, the ratio of scale can be in the hundreds of thousands even, and it will grow over time. It won't be a one day, but everyone needs to grow and adapt to this change that is happening. It's already happening, and we are seeing it actually starting, and the value will come in the coming years to get to those scales that we are discussing about.
Yeah. Building upon that, a theme that I like to always continue to say is we're now at a juncture where we're valuing domain expertise with higher proportion of value creation than that of, say, technologists. And I don't mean that to be provocative, but the last 20, 30 years, we have valued technologists that learned how to code, that could build applications, infrastructures, and environments. And so often we have that technology mindset, but lack the domain or the context of the business problem we're solving. And now, to your point, Rodam, that because of the accessibility to, let's say, a series of agents intertwined in an end-to-end process that is refining the way that we work, say, in healthcare. Now, be more specific, let's say, on the provider space of things. there's a tremendous amount of domain knowledge required to understand how that operation works. And no one technologist who studied all things about building an application will have the appreciation or time to even understand that. So I think this is almost the plateau that we are seeing, where that accessibility, the technology use, but really applying the domain to it, is where we're going to see this take off in a big way, because context matters, the outcome matters, and most importantly, the domain understanding of what problem to be solved or what job to be done, as we'll always say, is vitally important. So, it's interesting, and I guess maybe the question, Steve, we're hearing from a lot of folks that, hey, wait a minute, the hype, things are cooling off a bit. What's happening? Is the market starting to shift? What's your perspective as you're seeing things, as you talk to a number of our colleagues in the ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I totally agree with what you and Rodham just said about how this is going to change the way we work and change the whole world in a better way. And I'm going to be a little bit probably more aggressive there to say that we're not only overhyped, we are underhyped. So we are not even scratching the surface from the potentials that we are going to get out of these uh, projects that are coming to life in the next maybe couple of months or years. And it is not something too far away. I can almost hear, smell, and feel it. It's something that is coming uh, for for a better or worse very soon. So we all need to be ready. Think about it, like as Rodham just mentioned about the industrial revolution. Back then, a lot of the jobs kind of got automated. People got a lot of, I guess, help to do it faster, cheaper. But these days, we are seeing more intellectual or more of the knowledge workers getting the help, and that is a totally different sort of a revolution we have never heard of. Intelligence itself was the main driver of everything good in humanity, and now we are adding a lot more power to bring the human intelligence and amplify what we have accumulated through the years, and potentially become even smarter, which these are things that we have never thought about, or I mean, maybe in some of the sci-fi movies, but we have never actually deeply believed that would be possible in such a short term. So, in order to get ready for it, as I said, it's totally underhyped. And in order to be ready for it, we need to have access to education. We need to be democratizing these tools. We need to bring people along to make sure they don't miss out. And this is something that it will be detrimental if you miss out, because things are going too fast. It is like crazy fast. Like, think about the Chat GPT 3 came out like maybe the almost 2 years ago, and now um, we are having like all these LLMs coming out every month, maybe almost sometimes every week, um, pushing some of the boundaries of the quality of the work, the complexity of the task that they can do. And we are seeing also in the other domains, not only LLMs, but also through that advances, we are seeing the change and shift in the way that other AI projects are moving forward, either generating videos, sound, images, and all of this is kind of on the back of the that small spark. So within, I would I would here go bold and do a little bit prediction. Like within a year, we are going to be in a totally different world. And for those who are not embracing it and trying to see what happens and wants to take a back seat to make sure that they are on the safe side, uh, I might not have a very good news. That might be very, very difficult for them to stay competitive. If they are a business, if they are individuals, there has been researches that I mean, the recent one by Harvard Business School, that knowledge workers, consultants, low performing consultants using ChatGPT were overperforming the high performing consultants, which means that even if you're a high performing individual or company, you're not safe.
Now, I will take the provocation and run with it, but I I couldn't agree with you more, Steve. I mean, we've got an opportunity that's happening. It's evolving in each industry as we're seeing it right now. Um, just conscious of the time, a couple of things I want to call out as we're evolving this notion of the community as it started within LinkedIn. But one thing I want to just talk about is the community itself. And so, just to tee it up here, the AI community as it's been nurtured, I think we all share a very similar mission and goal here in the sense that we've seen other networks evolve in our lifetime in the last 10, 15 years that for many will always say that unfortunately they were the product and they did not have an opportunity to participate. And we've been very strong in the beginning to do what a community does, is the aim to nurture and support and help team members grow, whether it's finding a job, building an application, helping to get it published, get connected with research opportunities across university or different locations, and frankly, in many ways, also help others to create new opportunity as they are evolving their career, potentially becoming a creator, either for content and or for teaching in this space. So, Steve, maybe a little bit to talk about our community demographics, right? So, maybe just a little bit of geographic from your point of view. I know we're global in nature, as the three of us are right now, but just a little bit about the community and some of the demographic there.
Yeah, no, that's an I guess very important aspect of our community, that they're diverse. So right now, I would love to hear from our audience, like where are they tuning in from? Because that's always exciting to see the at this sort of time of the day, who are watching. I know people in Australia probably they are. All awake. So would love to see some people from Sydney in the chat, but also we usually get people from all over the world. So our community is pretty diverse, and I can see here like we have like San Francisco,
Yep.
Queensland, Sydney, Vancouver. You would probably go through this, and the chat is going so fast, so I cannot read all of them. Malaysia, Mexico City, um, India, Mexico, Germany, Vegas.
Even Germany at 5:30.
Germany.
It's
Germany.
it's 5 a.m. in Germany. Okay, nice. Who was from Germany? I would just like want to give him a shout out. It's just very difficult to find, but like we have Vienna. It's probably also very early. But
Melbourne.
that's
Yeah.
very good. That's very good to see that. Okay, here we have Karim.
Germany.
Thank you very much for joining
Germany.
us this time of the day. So we have multiple communities across different platforms, right? So part of our community, I guess the major part of it is on LinkedIn, but also we have Beehive community that like they are more focused. Maybe some of them are more senior, and we have also communities on. We have a newsletter, but what we are saying is this is a global, diverse community, and people literally from all over the world, from US, Canada, Europe, to the Asia Pacific, they are joining this community because they all understand the value of being part of such a movement. And we will try to cater different geographical locations even more by having more specific, I guess, focus groups. So uh, stay tuned. Some interesting projects coming up. Probably in next couple of weeks, you will hear some of them being launched. So I'm just giving you some heads up. And we are going to work with our communities to understand what they would like to see and how they would like to this community to evolve. As the AI industry evolving very fast, we would like to evolve as fast to make sure that we are catering for the new generation, new tools, and the new needs. So a lot of the legacy platforms might not be able to keep up, but we have been in this space for so long. I mean, I myself have been in this AI community, I guess, from the time I remember, as I was a lecturer at university, and then I was head of, I guess, the AI ecosystem for the Computer Society, and now I'm working with ACM, Association of Computing Machinery, I guess the largest and oldest um, IT and computer organization in the world. They give away the Turing Award for those who might not notice the name. And we have done hackathons, the largest hackathons in the world, in collaboration with United Nations, UNESCO. So this is something that we have been doing for a long time, and we believe there is a great value in this point of time by doing it the way that we are trying to deliver. So just a little bit of a longer, I guess, description, but would love to hear from yourself and Rhoda.
Yeah, I'll just add one point, and then I'll pass it to Rotem. So within the community, as we look at different roles and job titles that folks have, and that displays one thing, perhaps, right? So everything from C-suite executives to mid-level managers to consultants to designers, brand advocates, students, um, and students all the way down into high school. We've had many colleagues share thoughts of, "Hey, we follow this, we understand it," and people being able to articulate how much they're excited and even commented like, "You've helped me to actually find the job that I was looking for." Because I was able to research some of the news and the insights of what was going on and get up to speed very quickly. And that just obviously is a great moment of excitement when you see a bit of that. But we have a full range, and I think everybody's learning together across the continuum. It's not just a technical solve by any means. But Rodham, other thoughts
Yeah,
about the community?
totally, and I think that's what exciting. So we have from the CEOs of the top 20 companies in the world to students, parents, like everyone wants to learn about AI. Everyone wants to be actually ready for this future. And I don't think there are a lot of communities in the world like that are centralized around the topic that you'll find the CEO of the top US companies or other companies and students all like together commenting about things. And I will say in my like in my part as and my involvement also like in other companies, I like speaking with I'm speaking with a lot of like the CEOs of the large companies, and everyone knows generative AI. Everyone knows those communities. Everyone is excited about it. Everyone's learning in those communities how to be prepared for the future. So the power that we are creating, and also as Jade mentioned, like helping people to find jobs, like the fact that we have students or undergrads and CEOs of companies and CIOs of companies and uh, helping actually to connect the dots, helping to bring everyone together, people with different backgrounds, people that needs each other eventually, to bring them together in order to get the value of this ecosystem. And this is the beautiful thing that we are creating here, bringing people that can help each other from a lot of different backgrounds together to unite around this new future of AI. And for me, it's super exciting. I'm not familiar with a lot of topics that something like that happen. Uh, and we have those types of communities. So super
Yeah.
powerful and very exciting.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I'll share one thing. I was able to meet a colleague earlier today, and a very interesting story of something we will publish because I think it fits very well with the community ethos. For him, going back to do his PhD, but really at the intersection of an ailment that plagued his daughter, and for him dedicating his time and effort and research to help better understand the parameters and behaviors of this particular type of cancer. In sharing not only his story, but more importantly, the explanation of how we do get folks within this community that want to contribute. In the case of like open source, how can they contribute to that, being from a medical domain perspective or from a technology perspective? But realizing with AI that the way that the models are tuned and the type of training parameters built around some of the work that he was doing, shared this view and said, well, I can't solve this myself. And I said, that's a large opportunity we have of being able to share this within the community and seeing if there's interest. And so it's a whole different type of collaboration that we're starting to see evolve, and be on the lookout for this one. I don't want to give too much of a way of it, but it's an opportunity for us to bring folks, as Steve just showed, with the community all over the world. And it's not a Silicon Valley thing, right? It is not a Europe thing. It is not specific to one particular area because of origination. It is an opportunity where, truly the best and the brightest and the greatest idea may be from a region and a location that doesn't get all the visibility on a map. And this is where I think this is truly powerful with what we can bring to market and opportunities, connecting folks that may have that skill set and opportunity that otherwise would never have a way to make that connection. So just conscious of the time, we're going to try not to drain it too much here, but I want to get it to a couple points. Two more things. So one, let's talk about enterprises or companies. We've heard it across the board. Some companies are saying, I'm on the bandwagon with AI and I've got a budget. Okay, well, what are we doing with that budget when it comes to AI? Or we have others that are very clear about their outcome and their focus. So maybe a question, Rodham, and then to Steve, is like, we've all worked for large companies that are helping to transform with technologies, and we've seen it over the last 20 years. But where should enterprises start when it comes to AI? And I'll lead it a little bit. Is it in hiring AI engineers? Is it building out data environments? Is it all of a sudden building AI applications? Like where should companies kind of put their focus and effort if they're trying to figure out a way to frame this? So maybe Rodham to you first.
Yeah, sure. So I think first of all, again, like what we are doing here is the first step, like to understand the technology, to understand the power, to understand the limitations, to understand the constraints, from ethics to security to a lot of things. That's the place to start, actually, for leaders in companies, before even like starting to execute. We need to strategically think about what's the possibilities, and it's very, very important. The technology is powerful today, but it's very important to understand what's the possibilities are. It's not everything yet. It will get to almost everything eventually, but it's not everything yet. And to understand what's the power of the technology, what's the limitations, will help a lot to be able to focus actually where to start, where they can create a value very, very quickly. And this is actually one of the things that I'm seeing across dozens of the largest enterprises in the world. One of the things that is getting better but needs still to be improved, it's the understanding of non-technical people and leaderships towards what the technology can do and where to start. This is, like, I think, a very, very good first step to start with. And after that, my recommendation to organization always is to start in something as simple as possible that can create a significant enough ROI and return for them, in order to show that the technology, and to start adoption, sometimes with very, very grand visions immediately, and some very, very challenging tasks that they are starting with that are very difficult to execute. The end goal is, okay, for some reason, the company weren't able to execute that, and they're like, okay, the technology is not working. Now, the technology is working. Still, there is a lot of work to do, but we need to properly choose where we start, how we are creating value, and the value needs to be created gradually and not starting from the most difficult thing at the beginning. Not because sometimes not because of the technology limitations even, but from the enterprise adoption and understanding on how to use the technology. So this is like one. The second thing that I want to mention is still the forms of large language models, and it's important to say, and the current technology is not yet mature towards solving a lot of the mission critical enterprise tasks. We at Wand, we are working on creating the new fundamental technology to uh, like help enterprise to do and execute those tasks. Also, other companies are working on those, on some advancements in agents, in some advancements in cognitive planning, in how we are doing things beyond LLMs that started and ignited transformation that we are seeing today. How we are doing things beyond what we have today in order to get to the next level, to the next generation of AI, especially in enterprises. Actually, we are seeing the core missing component in that part. So again, the technology is already powerful. Enterprise needs to very carefully start with things that they know to quantify, they know how to measure, are not the most ambitious and the most difficult things, because otherwise they are losing it a lot of times, and then they are getting to the conclusion that the technology is not working, which is wrong, of course.
Indeed. Well, I'll add one point, and Steve, would love your perspective. I always, like to talk about focusing on the outcome, focus on the problem that you aim to solve, that metric, and in this case, that use case, and then most importantly, the data infrastructure. We all know that no matter what you throw from an AI perspective, it's irrelevant without a foundational data infrastructure to actually be attached to. So this whole notion of data to AI is more than real. And so culturally and organizationally, you have to be adept as to that. But it really comes back to me when you look at it as a CEO of an organization. What are the 2 to 3 major metrics or areas that are really driving your business, and what questions to be asked, and how you run that business to drive an efficiency and improvement? So don't let the existing infrastructure or data environments be the reason why you can't ask those questions. Kind of think of it in a bit where you've unlearned how those environment constraints are, but most importantly, being very clear in those problems that you're trying to harness, because oftentimes we so much have gone after the technology in hopes of solving a business problem as opposed to the inverse. So, Steve, maybe your perspective, and then we'll take it to a wrap up here on where we're headed with Gen AI Works.
Yeah, I'll make it quick because, like, yourself and Rodham already, I guess, touched on the most of the important aspects. I'll just look at it from different lens, probably. So, whenever you're thinking about adopting AI and leveraging AI, there are probably 2 ways to look at it: inward and outward. It's using for building new capabilities, which is the onward, the innovation side of it, that will help your companies to deliver and maybe a new thing or maybe a better sort of version of your service or product, or towards inward, which help uh, leveraging something like as easy as ChatGPT to deliver a gain better, I guess, quality work for your employees. So that's something that is just already proven. It's 100% there. And all the companies should think about how to leverage AI right now in the internal level by bringing these capabilities to their employees. And this is 100% not negotiable. But companies wants to adopt AI as sort of the innovation part of their platforms. They definitely need to think about the enterprise data ecosystem that needs to enable those new capabilities. And as Rodham said, maybe starting from something small and quick and deliver value and learn from that and go forward. So I would not talk much more about it, but also we need to understand that there are different industries and each one will be impacted differently and they might have different sort of priorities. Like I remember I was in a conference in a panel discussion in Singapore with the leaders of maritime sector of in the world. Like there was sea levels of maritime sectors, and one of them just very honestly said that I don't think my industry will be on the forefront of being impacted. So I might be a little bit more hesitant into jumping into this. So there are different industries, all of them going to be impacted differently. We need to understand um, which part and how and when. But the reality is, it will come for all of us. So better to be ready, and as Rodham said, better to start with something small and iterate.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Okay, I'm mindful of time, but I want us to bring it home a little bit, kind of where we started. So it was a goal, a year plus ago. Really have an opportunity to establish a community that has grown by leaps and bounds. The numbers are there, but I think the humbling aspect is how do we continue to nurture this in the right way, and where does Gen AI Works as a company go? And those that have chosen to work for this, I feel very humbled to be a part of helping to support this forward. But a couple things just to highlight. As we said, it starts with the community and what a community stands for, and helping each other to discover, learn, and grow in many ways as we think about it in Gen AI Works, and bringing the ecosystem together, helping to bring out the knowledge, the insights, helping to bring not only the fast view, whether it's applications, GPTs, AI agents, the dearth of applications that people can build and bring forth, but giving, I would say, the long tail, the startups visibility into a space that they may not have when it comes to funding and direction. Um, and one that I'll just highlight and I'll pass it to you guys is this notion of becoming the media hub for all things of AI, and that being on a basis of whether that's masterclass based content, to job opportunities, to forum connecting others to jobs and roles that they might be able to seek out. Um, but Steve, as we talk about it a little bit of maybe dealing with startups and accelerators, maybe some of your thoughts there as well, and some of the other aspects of what you like about where we're headed with Gen AI Works.
Thanks, Jay. Super exciting time. Like we all are seeing the excitement in our community as well as they are, engaging more with our platform and the things that we're rolling out. And based on the feedback and the relationship, the close relationship that we have with our community, we understand that they would like to get more focused community of people that are there to grow and learn together. So we are going to put this as our mission, as our priority, and hand holding with the entrepreneurs, as you mentioned, the startups, people who would like to um, maybe come up with a new idea that will become the unicorn or change the world for to be better. We are here for them. We would like to make sure that they can they can deliver this faster and to a bigger community. And also, as we mentioned about the grow, it's also about opportunities and how these platforms and tools are going to help you to gain more productivity or get access to some new opportunities, like maybe as a freelancer or maybe delivering something that is not in a conventional way, um, kind of as a role or a job. So these are all great new initiatives, but we are going to be an AI first company as well. So we are leveraging AI heavily to automate, to be very productive. So we not only make the cake, we also eat our own cake as well. So we know that this AI is going to help everyone, but we also leveraging it in every aspect of the ecosystem. So you're going to see AI agents helping you to go through this all the stages of the process to discover, learn, and grow.
Cool. All right, Rodham, why don't you bring it home with some of your thoughts about where we're headed with Gen AI Works and what excites you the most?
Yeah, so as we've discussed, and shared here, the ecosystem, the influence, and connecting the dots between everything we are doing, everyone in the community, how we are leveraging this in order to help people to discover, learn, and grow. Eventually, that's, I think, one of the biggest opportunities currently in the AI market, because we have the ecosystem of millions of people that is able actually to influence each other, and to help each other actually in those tasks. And our goal is to work strategically currently to detect actually the opportunities, how we are able to help this community in the best way. And Steve mentioned, and Jay, you've also mentioned multiple of them already. And what could help us in order to achieve this mission? We have a huge and great audience here and members in this community. And now we are trying to find every time another aspects that we are able to assist them in order to help us to assist to get to our mission. So in general, when we have the people here, and our goal is to help them. So I think already we have the big part here. Now we are trying to find the best ways to help them, and there are a lot of exciting things that are going to happen over the next months, and I'm super excited about it.
Cool. Yep. We'll save some things that folks will see here published about Gen AI Works and where that's headed, and where the team is on a day-to-day executing. But maybe I'll just wrap it up. We started at the beginning talking about community. For us, it really is about AI for good. How we're applying AI to large societal problems to help advance the usage of the technology, more importantly, to solve some major challenges that we are seeing on a global basis. There'll be a notion around Gen AI Ventures coming up. I'll just plant that seed of where and how we look for backing companies in that space. So if you're a builder, you're building apps, if you're a content creator, you're wanting to train, you're wanting to share content, if you are out there as a creative using these tools and technologies, we want to hear from you. All ideas go. Sharing that's part of what we stand for, and we'd love to hear. So feel free to throw in the comments or drop a note to the group. But thank you, everyone, for listening.
Important, just one point to add
go for
here, that Jay already and Steve already mentioned, is how global the community is. When we are doing those things, we want everyone actually to have equal opportunities according to the skills, innovative ideas, capabilities that they are bringing, and not based on the place that they are living. And this is a very, very strong and powerful things about this community. We already mentioned it, but I think it's so important. So just to emphasize again.
Yeah, that's a great reinforcement. So with that, we want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining us here today across the globe, as all three of us are here in different time zones. So again, we're thankful and appreciative of where the community has evolved and going, and want to continue to hear from you on ideas and thoughts of how we continue to shape it. But we'll be excited to share some new announcements here very, very soon. So stay tuned, and thanks again, everyone. Be well. Good night, or as you start the day out in Germany, have a great day ahead. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.